Yesterday, I put out my list of what I thought were the worst movies of 2022. So here's what I thought were 10 of the best. Again, this list is just my own personal opinion, and a few of these might be unpopular opinions, so let's keep it respectful. Number 10, Minions: The Rise of Gru, which really should have been titled Despicable Me: The Rise of Gru because the Minions aren't really the focus. The focus is more on Gru learning how to become a villain. As far as the Minions go, the film still provides all the wacky Three Stooges style antics you've come to expect. The animation is vibrant, the references to 1970s pop culture are fun, the various villains throughout the film are all really creative and funny, and some parts maybe the plot doesn't flow the best, and a few scenes involving the Minions do go on for a bit too long, but it still has a lot of creativity. You'll definitely enjoy it more if you're a Despicable Me fan, as it is a bit familiar, it doesn't really reinvent the wheel with the franchise, but if you're a big Despicable Me fan and you know what you're going to get, and it worked for me. Number 9, Luck. Produced by former Pixar head John Lasseter, this is the kind of film Pixar has been needing as of late, as with the exception of Soul, which is currently my favorite Pixar film, as well as my favorite film of 2020, Pixar has been kind of hit or miss. This film has a lot of heart and creativity with great emotion that harkens back to Pixar's early golden days. It has elements of Inside Out and Monsters, Inc., it has an uplifting story, a lot of research into various things that are considered lucky by different cultures, and a lot of creative world building, though it does suffer from a few pacing issues, particularly as it gets closer to the end. But I thought it was one of the best animated films of the year. Number 8, Spirited. This new retelling and spoof of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol is fresh, entertaining, and original. The idea of the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future being a business where they spend all year preparing to scare an individual into changing their ways is a fun way of twisting the story. Much like Monsters, Inc., they scare because they care. The songs are catchy, the choreography is very well done, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell's comedy bounce very well off of each other, and the film takes the story and presents it in a modern way by dealing with issues such as cyberbullying and cancel culture without coming across as preachy, which is very hard to do. This is one of the few retellings of a story that I think has a justified existence. Number 7, Uncharted. Now, while to some degree I do agree that Tom Holland was a little bit miscast as Nathan Drake, he's also so entertaining in this movie that I just don't care. I look at this movie like the series Young Indiana Jones as sort of a prequel, and it's really fun. It has an engaging story. Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg work very well off of each other. Holland and his love interest have a great dynamic, and the movie harkens back to the days of old adventure movies that were escapism. It's a fun adventure with a great script and entertaining characters. Number 6, See How They Run. I find it ironic that the movie that's an homage and spoof of Agatha Christie is a much better movie than this year's Death on the Nile, which was actually based on Agatha Christie. This movie has much better pacing than that film. It's self-aware and it pokes fun at murder mystery cliches without going too far with the meta-commentary to the point of it being distracting. Saoirse Ronan and Sam Rockwell have a fun dynamic. There's a lot of great story twists that keep the audience guessing. There's moments of style where the film looks like a detective comic book, and Daniel Pemberton's score for the film really stands out. And it's a shame not a lot of people saw this movie. If you like movies Knives Out or Clue, give this a shot. I think you'll enjoy it. Number 5, Black Adam. A film with a lot of style, particularly with the action scenes. It's a big comic book spectacle that's fun to watch, has a great cast, but I do still have a few problems with it. It is a bit unfocused, particularly because the movie focuses more on Justice Society rather than Black Adam. And I really think the movie probably should have been titled The Justice Society versus Black Adam or something like that. The characters are fun. They have great actors playing them. But the film does fall apart a bit in the third act with the villain who isn't really set up, and the final battle wasn't really that interesting. But I still had a lot of fun with it. It was a big spectacle comic book film, and that's pretty much what I expected, so I can't really complain. Number 4, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. One of the funniest and most entertaining films I've seen this year. The humor is smart and proves you don't need to be lowbrow or crass to be funny. There's tons of satirical jokes and commentary on animation, Hollywood, washed-up actors, and selling out. There are also a ton of Easter eggs and references that provide the film with significant rewatch value. If you like Roger Rabbit, this is about as close to a sequel that you're going to get. This is a film everyone can enjoy. It's a love letter to 90s kids, animation, and there's jokes for all ages. Number 3, Marcel the Shell. Move over, Pixar, because A24 made me cry over stop-motion Shell. This is a cute movie, but it's definitely geared more towards older kids and adults. The pacing is definitely slower than a children's film, and there are a lot of heavier emotional moments that kids may not be ready for. But for older kids and adults, I think they can get a lot out of this. Every so often, there's a movie that sets out to remind us about the good in the world, that sets out to distract us from all the contention, and this is that film. This is a wonderful movie with a delightfully innocent main character. It's very well directed, very heartwarming, very uplifting, and very charming. Number 2, Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, an incredibly clever parody of musical artist biopics. So how do you take Weird Al, an artist who hasn't had any scandals in his life or career, and make it an interesting movie? You parody that type of film, of course. Django Radcliffe absolutely disappears in the role of Weird Al and has a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of references in the dialogue to Weird Al's lyrics. The plot goes in some wild and wacky directions and is just incredibly bonkers. And it's exactly the kind of movie you think of when you think Weird Al. And coming in at first place as the best movie I saw of 2021 is The Batman! This is the shortest 3 hours I've spent at the movies this year. And that's because the film has an incredibly intriguing story, compelling characters, flawless performances, exciting action. The new visions for Batman villains like the Riddler are fresh. The film gets to really delve deep into the side of Batman that makes him the world's greatest detective. It captures the spirit and tone of detective noir comics. And it's not only the best movie of 2022, but in my opinion, it's the best Batman movie ever. I've watched this film at least 5 or 6 times this year since buying it, and every time I get something new out of it. I notice things I didn't notice before. It's the most well-directed, well-acted, well-written, and well-crafted film this year, so it comes in at a highly, highly deserved number 1. So go ahead and share what you thought were the best movies of 2022, and I will see you next time.